On the news this morning, Governor Soludo congratulates 15-year-old Anambra-born Penta for breaking Guinness World Record. More positive reactions trail Governor Soludo's second-term bid. NAFDAC tightens lead on pharmaceutical imports from China and India. As South Korea's court sacks Yoon Yeol as president. Good morning and welcome to Breakfast News on ABS Television. I am David Okwakwasele. We remind you that security is here to stay in Anambra State. In the Anambra, remember, security is everyone's business. And for us to have a more secure and livable Anambra State, we must join forces with the government in securing our state. If you see something, say something. Report unscrupulous elements to the security operatives for better security of life and property. Remember the emergency numbers 5311 or 080-02-20008. We begin the news in Abuja, where the governor of Anambra State, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, has congratulated the 15-year-old Anambra State-born painting talent Kanyaya Chukwuokeke for breaking the Guinness World Record by painting on largest art canvas in the world by an individual. The governor, who was speaking during the unveiling of the largest art canvas and presentation of certificates to the child prodigy held at the Eagle Square in Abuja, described young Kanye's success as amazing and a great inspiration to humanity, especially the young generations. Governor Soludo, who was represented by his Commissioner for Culture, Entertainment and Tourism, Comrade Don Onyenji, described the young Kanye Chukwu who defied the challenges of autism to conquer the world through creativity as a special child and proud son of Anambra State. He called for special attention and the provision of an enabling environment to manage and promote innate talents among children. Kanyaya Chukwu is the grandson of former chairman of the Police Service Commission, PSC Chief Simon Okeke, and was at the age of 8 honored by the Archduke and Archduchess of Austria with the Flame of Peace Award, among other 14 awards and recognitions he had received. The event held in commemoration of World Autism Day with the theme, Impossibility is a Myth, had in attendance many distinguished personalities, including the Minister of Arts, Culture, Tourism and Creative Economy, Hannatu Musawa, the Guinness World Record team, the Canadian High Commissioner to Nigeria, and the UN representative in Nigeria. Highlights of the occasion were work on the canvas and various speeches and goodwill messages from national and international organizations. While the torrents of endorsements and donations are pouring in support of the second term of Governor Chukwuma Soludo, it has been revealed that he had quietly picked his expression and interest and nomination forms at the National Secretariat of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA, in Abuja, in line with approved guidelines, while the party has screened him and certified him fit for today's primary election. This was disclosed in a press statement by his senior special assistant on new media, Mazi Ejimofopara, who maintained that the process has become seamless due to the quality of leadership of APGA, that APGA parades today, saying that for the first time in known history, the internal affairs of the party is conducted harmoniously without any brickbats or rancor. He congratulated the Slayezo Kenwa-led National Working Committee of the party and all members of the All Progressive Grand Alliance who have been very desirous of a stable and peaceful party. The media aide further expressed belief that APGA's primary election, which is scheduled today, will be a date with history, as over 3,260 delegates will once again be choosing for themselves a progressive leader that will continue to provide solutions to the myriads of Anambra's problems. Over 102,000 women have delivered their babies free of cost, made possible by Governor Chukwuma Soludo's free delivery and antenatal services policy in public hospitals across the state. Governor Soludo announced this at the International Convention Center in Awka while addressing 60 support groups who endorsed and presented a check of 30 million naira to him for his second-term bid. Our correspondent, Ngozi Obleri, has the report.
According to Governor Soludo, his plans of building human capital development by introducing them to the trajectory of wealth creation and taking burdens off their shoulders is a priority he cannot toy with. Governor Soludo added that he is yet to unfold his lofty plans for Anambra, calling on all to join him as the state's wheel of development to a place far better than it used to be.
We must continue with this revolution that is going on in all parts of the state simultaneously without borrowing a kobo. And I told them, Anambra, you haven't seen anything yet. And as I said to our students the other day, for the first time, our students in my institution are going to be receiving bursary award. Free antenatal, free delivery in all public health institutions in Anambra. After we are simultaneously fixing all the primary health institutions in 326 wards, employing over 1,000 health professionals, consultants, doctors, nurses, pharmacists, and so on, and filled up all of them. We then decided, of course, pioneering and mainstreaming telemedicine. We had this free antenatal free delivery, and so far, over 102,000 women have benefited. Having free antenatal free delivery, including free cesarean operations here in Anambra.
Earlier in his speech, the chairman of All Soludo Support Group, who is the deputy chief of staff and chief protocol to the governor, Sachine Dungoye, explained that they have over 120,000 members who are committed to the second-term bid of the governor, adding some of their members donated 500, 1,000 naira among others to raise the 30 million naira which they donated to the governor to facilitate his second-term bid.
The Honorable the Chairman Chief Executive of Anambra State, the man that will talk and he will do, he is not
Since the creation of Anambra State, Aguleri to communities have been neglected, with zero or negligible government presence in the three communities that make up the area, which are Enugu, Unando, and Ezeagolo communities. When Governor Chukwuma Soludo during his campaign promised in 2021 gubernatorial election to come to their aid, it seemed like something that will not come as soon as possible. But 3 years later, the story has changed with different projects at different levels of completion, including roads and a general hospital. Our correspondent, Chinelo Onwuzilike, tells us more.
Specifically, work has commenced in earnest on the 8-kilometer Enugu-Otu Ezeagolo road. Speaking to the ABS, the traditional ruler of Unando Aguleri, Igwe Johnson Onyaka Mbanefo, said Governor Soludo is the only governor since the creation of the state who has remembered and fulfilled his promises to them and pledged their continued support to his government. Igwe Onyaka Mbanefo said as an Aguilerian community, they have lost so much because they cannot transport their farm produce, but thank God for the gift of Governor Soludo.
Iluzo na swamp area adroizi. Iba governor na alu adroizi. So I na your governor. Nyado dodo. Obugo na schedule na obugo commissioner for works. Ko obia inspection n'ezia. Ka the contractor fast near his or tight near his belt up. Man obi di anyu tori ne. Anyi nwere obi anwu la ya fun rodi ambo. We na agba governor na anyi ya na azu. Ona eje ona na nya na ndi kpulandoso.
I am Chinelo Onwuzilike for ABS News.
To allow for proper service and arraignment, Anambra State High Court, presided over by Justice Jude Obiora, has adjourned till Friday, 11th April 2025, the cases of 3 native doctors accused of criminal activities, including preparing Okite charms. The accused native doctors are Onyebuchi Okocha, popularly known as Onyeze Jesus, Chidozie Nwangu, also known as Akwa, and Ekene Igbekweze, also known as Eke Heat. Our correspondent, Joseph Ebocha, was at the court and now reports.
Speaking to newsmen after the court proceedings, one of the counsel to the three defendants, Remigius Okoli, said the state government came up with a ploy to remand the defendants, adding that proper service and giving accused persons adequate time to prepare for defense are very fundamental as enshrined in the constitution and relevant laws of the state. He claimed that the law is on their side in defending the accused.
The defendants were not properly served. Service is very fundamental in every matter, and giving adequate time to prepare for their defense. It's a very fundamental issue enshrined in the Constitution and the relevant laws of the state. So we were able to get the court to agree with us that there was no proper service. The court ordered that proper service should be done so that on the next adjourned dates we will take the plea and arraignment and most likely the bail. We're ever ready. We're ever ready. The law is on our side. Yes, we're ever ready to defend them. And every defendant is entitled to representation of counsel. Yes, and we are here for them. We give them the best possible defense in accordance to the law and nothing more.
Efforts to speak with the council to the state government led by FC Okeke were not successful. In Oka, Joseph Ebocha reporting for ABS News.
The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, is increasing efforts to block the entry of substandard and counterfeit products into Nigeria, particularly from China and India, the country's two largest pharmaceutical trade partners. At a stakeholders meeting, the agency's Director General, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, emphasized that the Clean Report of Inspection and Analysis CRIA scheme has significantly strengthened regulatory control over imports from these nations. Previously, China and India accounted for 70% of Nigeria's pharmaceutical imports. NAFDAC's push for local manufacturers has reduced that figure to 60%. Despite this progress, counterfeit and substandard medicines from these countries continue to pose a serious threat. NAFDAC has appointed and accredited CRIA agents in China and India to conduct rigorous pre-shipment inspections to tackle the issue at the source. South Korea's Constitutional Court has unanimously voted to uphold the impeachment of President Yoon Suk-yeol. There were tears of joy and sadness amongst anti-Yoon and pro-Yoon supporters who are taken to the streets ahead of the verdict. In his first remarks after the verdict, Yoon said he is truly sorry for failing to live up to people's expectations. His short-lived declaration of martial law last December plunged the country into political turmoil. His powers were first suspended when Parliament voted to impeach him on 14th December. Now that Yoon is impeached, a snap election will be held within 60 days. Yoon also faces a separate charge of insurrection, which will go on trial at a later date. And then finally in sports, Nigeria's Flying Eagles will round up their preparations for the 2025 Africa Under-20 Cup of Nations in Abuja. Aliyu Zubairu's side is currently preparing for the competition in Katsina. The seven-time African champions set up camp in Katsina early last month. They are expected to relocate to Abuja for the final phase of their camping exercise next week. The Flying Eagles are drawn in Group B with Egypt, Morocco and South Africa. Egypt will host the Under-20 AFCON for the second straight edition after Cote d'Ivoire pulled out as hosts. The semi-finalists are guaranteed tickets to the 2025 FIFA Under-20 World Cup in Chile. Remember that you can follow news and programs from any part of the world by liking our Facebook page at ABS Radio Television. Subscribe to our YouTube at ABS Television Oka, on Instagram and X at ABS Radio TV. You can also log on to our website at www.absradiotv.com. Before we go, here are the main points again. We told you that Governor Chukwuma Soludo has congratulated the 15-year-old Anambra-born painting talent for breaking Guinness World Record. We also told you that more positive reactions have continued to trail Governor Soludo's second-term bid. NAFDAC says it has tightened the noose on pharmaceutical imports from China and India, as South Korea's court sacks Yu Yo as president. Security is here to stay in Anambra State. In the Anambra, remember, security is everyone's business, and for us to have a more secure and livable Anambra State, let's join hands with the government to secure our state. If you see something, say something. Report unscrupulous elements to the security operatives for better security of life and property. Remember the emergency numbers 5311 or 08002200008. And that's the news as edited by Stella Iboka and the production team. I am David Obokwasele.